buckle up, Buttercup, because this is going to be a heck of an episode. I'm actually being responsible. No martini today. It's a NASCAR beer day. Got me a Coors Light. And that's because we have so much to talk about. I got to be able to hang. So go grab your drink and let's get into it. Hey guys, Chevy Rell here. I have so much to talk about. Look, I have my clipboard, my Labyrinth. I still haven't found that missing sticker. It's somewhere in the stuff room. I'll find it one day. Grab your pen and notepad if you're that kind of person. As always, I have everything linked below. If you don't want to grab your pen, we got some shit to talk about today, especially if you're planning on Rhinebeck. I'm going to talk a lot about Rhinebeck, so if you're not going and you don't care, you can just kind of like fast forward a little once I get to that part. I'm going to look at my notes a lot in this episode. I spent a whole bunch of time on notes because I felt like there was a lot to talk about. I've been doing a whole bunch of things. First, there is a knit group in Canada who refer to themselves as the Yarn Rebels. And they just so happen to have a member of their group who has a birthday at the end of August. And you know me, I celebrate my birthday month, not just your day. So let's start off August for Crystal's happy birthday month. Happy birthday from all of us here at Chevy Rell Stuff and you girls at the Yarn Rebels, Clinkies. So if you know Crystal, send her out some yarny love. And if you don't know Crystal, send it out into the universe so she has an awesome month. Because that's how we do it here. I guess I didn't even introduce myself. Hey, I'm Chevis. If you're new here, this is the Stuff Room, the Chevy Rell Stuff podcast. As you can see, there's lots of stuff in the stuff room, and we talk about yarny things here. And there's so much to talk about, I'm just gonna bust into it. Are you ready for some FOs? Are ya? I'm probably gonna go fast just because I know how much I have to talk about. My first FO is a pair of socks, which if I was a good podcaster would put on sock blockers, but I'm not gonna. They're my Minecraft socks. This is a super fun texture. The Minecraft pattern is by Heather Cox and it is free. This yarn is by NomadicYarns, which I just dropped the card. NomadicYarns, and this is their Mischievous Managed colorway. Deep, deep stash. I love this pattern. I love the colorway. Super psyched to wear those. My next FO is huge. It's a biggin, guys. I gotta put it on. It's my Pouf! I love it. The ends are woven in. It's just when I block it, I always leave a little bit of something there. But look how cute it is. It has the poofy sleeves. This yarn, all of it is amazing. I am all prepared. Look at me. The first color, which is this color, is I Feel Like Dying in the Wanderer colorway. The next color, which is this, which look how well that fades in. That is Yarn Ink, and it was their June Yarn of the Month club. Not from this year. I've had this in my stash for a minute. The purple, this color right here, is Lazy Sunday Yarns. And that is in the Magic colorway. The next color is down here and right here. And that is, again, I Feel Like Dying. I purchased this at YarnCon a few years ago. And that's the Galactic Chaos colorway, this one. This one right here is Manic Panic by the one and only Johnny Boh. And then the last color, which this is new to you, I ran out. I had to. I used all of the yarn. So I knit a size large with extra large sleeves because I don't want my arms, I told you on the last podcast, to look like sausage casings. It's not cute. It's not cute. So I did the large body, which is perfect, I think. I can't remember if I added length at all. I feel like I added just like an inch of length. It wasn't a whole bunch. It is cropped. Maybe it was a couple inches. But I ran, this was my last color. So I added Hummingbird Moon, which I also purchased at YarnCon. Not positive if it was the same. I'm not positive if it was the same year as I got the I Love Dying, but I have this much left over. Look how cool that colorway is. And of course it's mixed in with the Manic Panic. And then I had a little bit of Manic Panic left. And then this is all Hummingbird Moon. And this colorway, did I already say it, is Witch Please. I don't think I said it. Isn't it cool? So this turned out amazing. I will be wearing it at some Rhinebeck-ish festivity. I'm going to take it off because it is hot AF. Oh my gosh. We should start timing me on how long it takes to put up my hair because I never last. I always feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wear my hair down. No. In enters the clip. Okay, much better. Still hot. Some things I wanted to say about that. On the sleeves, when you're increasing, actually when you're straight knitting, anywhere, because this is a hold two together marled fade, it is very easy to increase a stitch. Let me see if I can find it. I know as knitters we're not supposed to point out our mistakes, but I'm gonna point it out to you because I feel like I learned a life lesson, a knitting lesson here. There it is. So right about here, I can tell immediately when I'm holding it up to the light to see through it that the wonky bit's right there. What I did, which actually it looks pretty good. This looked jacked, you guys, when I first did it. I increased a stitch because I split the yarn because you're knitting two at a time, and I noticed it and it was about that far down, and I was like, I'll drop back and fix it.
That was stupid. It was stupid. It was stupid.
Because then I had to fiddle around like trying to get it. It was dumb. If I did that again, or if you knit this pattern and do this, I would suggest just knitting two together. I would never know, well, I don't know that I did this unless I look for it, but you also would not know if you added one and then knit two together right there. You're never gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know?
Now, if you do it like way far away, it would mess up your sizing. But for what I did, I should have just knit two together and been done with it. You can kind of see how wonky it is right there. I caused myself a headache, and it was late and I was tired, and then I was mad at myself because I thought it would just be this easy thing to drop down and pick up. So dumb. So learn from my mistake. Weighing out the yarn for the sleeves, I did goof a little bit. I mean, obviously I'm off, but I don't care. I still think it looks cool. Sorry, I'm working, guys, so this is gonna be happening. I'm on call. The other thing I did in this sweater, if you choose to knit it or anything like this, the holding two together double marled, Russian joins, you guys. It's awesome. I had no ends to weave in, except for the couple times that I was watching a movie and completely forgot that I was doing Russian joins. So I did have to weave in a couple things, but the other thing I wish I had done is I faded like somewhere in between 6 to 8 rows. If I did this again, I would have way spaced that out. I would have marled between like 12 rows, 15 rows. And then you wouldn't get, you know, like this is pretty liney right there. I just would have spaced it out a little more. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say about this, for those of you who don't remember because it was forever ago, I talked about the raglan sleeves falling off your shoulders and how one of my fixes, now some of you mentioned, and this is really cool, putting a ribbon here, like on the back of the neck and down maybe a little, and that would hold the shape and help it to not fall off your shoulders. But my initial plan, which is what I did, is on the setup row, I went down a needle and I did, when I cast on for the neck, I did a cable cast on. Well, actually when I cast on for the whole thing, I did a cable cast on, thinking that cast on had a little more structure than, say, like a German cast on or something like that. I have not worn this at any length because it hasn't been cold, but as I do, I mean, obviously I've put it on, I've worn it around the house just like that. I will keep you posted in the future as to how this works out when I'm wearing it, if any of y'all care. That's what I'm going to do with my note pages because I have a bunch of them. My next FO. Do y'all remember my Labyrinth blanket? Quick recap. Knitting Niqabi had a natural dyed Labyrinth yarn advent last year. These are the minis. You guys, this is a new edition. Look, it's a new edition. I hung a curtain rod. Those are all my Labyrinth colorways. That's how much I still have to knit. And I rearranged some, you'll see Ramsey's back here, which you can't really see him. I rearranged some, good grief. I had to rearrange some wall stuff for the curtain rod. Anyway, the pattern that came with that advent calendar is a throw, and I'm doing blocks. So I finished one of my blocks. But first, I thought it would be fun to recap the blocks that you've already seen. So there are 3 different blocks. This one is called Royal Quilting. So that was the first one. Sorry, B low out. The next one is Intarsia, which this was my first one. Is a teddy bear. It's Lancelot for you Labyrinth viewers. This one is Mosaic, and these are all naturally dyed. So cool. Then I did another Royal Quilting, and then this is my new one, which was a pain in the ass and not enjoyable at all to knit. But I finished the clock. Now, you can see the wonky bit right here. I'm gonna show you the back. This is supposed to be Intarsia, and I did Intarsia. You can see like down here, that's Intarsia. Once I got to like up here, I was like, not doing it. So instead, I did a mix of Intarsia and color work. So this is what not to do, but I don't care. It still looks like a clock, right? Like there's some wonky bits in it, but it's gonna be a blanket. And I have plans. I won't put it out into the universe because you know me, I change my mind like a million times. But I have plans on how I'm gonna finish it currently, and it's gonna be fine. You're not gonna see the back. And if, I don't know, say 100 years from now, somebody, like look at me carrying the yarn. Like I didn't give a shit. Say 100 years from now, someone dissects my blanket and they're trying to figure out what I did. They're gonna be like, this person didn't really know how to knit, but I don't care. I do have to tell you guys, do you see this lovely, sorry, there's a better. Do you see that lovely color in here? That's dyed with avocado. I think it's my favorite. I just think that is so flippin' cool. I'm all wound up and ready. I guess I should show you because I can. Oh, I even have my, okay, hold on. Yes, good grief. This one is avocado, and this is Ambrosius is this colorway. And this is Sirdidymus, and it's dyed with madder root and marigold. I mean, so cool, just so cool. I will show you the next colors, the next square. It's in my Labyrinth bag, and I have my Goblin King. I think this is my mushroom from Barbara. I could be wrong. Barbara Blows Glass, and I think this is the one that she made me, because, you know, mushrooms everywhere. And then this is a keychain that I got as part of the Labyrinth Advent. Everything lives in this bag. These are the next two colors, which look similar, but they're not. See, they're a little different. This one has like a greeny tinge, and this one's more coral. And that is days 11 and 12. So Hoggle, this one's Hoggle, and that is dyed with madder root and henna, which I used to dye my hair with henna. Did anyone else do the henna thing? I did it for a couple years at least. And then this one is Sarah, and it's dyed with marigolds, which who would have thought marigold would make like a greeny color. So my next square is a mosaic, which will look like this one, which kind of looks labyrinthy with those two colors. So I'll probably cast that on pretty quick. I have been on overload, you guys. I just want to make all of the things. Okay, next FO. I know, can you believe it? Can you believe I've gotten this much done? It's basically just finishing some things up. You know what I'm saying? These are scrappy socks. Dun da da. These are tubes that Johnny Bow dyed and Aquila cranked for Dan, and this was the leftover. And then this is a Whimsical wool, right? No, a Whimsical wood yarn. And she's the one that has all the super fun colorway names. And I got, this was also leftover from Dan's socks. So they're just scrappy socks for me. Hold on, I forgot. I wanted to show you my other ones. So Shaylee from Hens-n-Chicks, she's Hens-n-Chicks on Instagram. She sent me these, and you've seen them before. She actually gave away a sock set for, not gave away, she contributed for a giveaway for the podcast for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So one of you has this sock set. Isn't it cool? She dyed the yarn, but she cranked these on her sock machine. And this tab, you guys, I actually have another pair as well that she made me with this tab heel. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, like Aquila, Andi, that's actually super weird because I'm talking about this today. I am in the middle of one of Andi's episodes. I think it's 31. Just started it today, and she was talking about these heel tabs because she also has a sock machine, and she was talking about getting the perfect number for her heel. Well, back when Shaylee sent me these, I love them. They're my favorite. They really are. They're my favorite. These are my go-to. I always grab these first. They're always dirty first after they're clean. And I love this heel tab. So I had sent Shaylee a message back when she sent these to me and asked if she knew of a pattern that, like a knitting pattern that had this. I've talked about this before. I know some of you have. We've talked about it like on Instagram and things. The pattern that she sent me is for top down. Well, I reverse engineered it because I was doing it on knit tubes, right? Here's the thing. And this is what Andi's talking about, if you're wondering why I brought Andi up. On Andi's episode 31, today, that literally, I was just listening to it before I started recording. She's talking about how she is trying all different sizes of heel tabs to see what works for her best. So this is the pattern that I followed. Now, reverse engineering, obviously, because it's top down. And I went bottom up, which is really easy to do. If you have sock tubes, this is totally doable. You just have to, sew the seam down because you fold it, but it's really easy. I like this tab better. See how girthy that tab is? So now, compared to this little baby one, So on my next ones that I do, I'm gonna pull an Andi and play around with it. Because really all it is like making a little toe. It's so easy. But I wanted to tell you guys that in case you liked the heel tab, in case you had any tubes that you wanted to add the heel tab to, and then you can play around with them. Now, I will tell you, this is a much smoother transition on the sock machine than this. This is pretty, there's like a, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little ledge there. So it is different than a sock machine, but it wears fine. That's another FO. Okay, now I'm gonna talk a little bit about Rhinebeck because it's gonna tie into some other like FOs that I've made for Rhinebeck. And I'm gonna be looking at my notes a lot. It dawned on me that at the beginning, I said that I was going to explain things for people who don't know about things. And I have been really shitty at doing that. When I say Rhinebeck, I just assume everyone knows what Rhinebeck is, and I shouldn't do that. That's rude. I know there are a lot of you who aren't knitters at all who watch me, which I love that. Thank you so much. I get comments on that quite a bit. I know people who have never been to fiber festivals. That's not really your jam. So I just want to tell you some things about Rhinebeck. Whenever you hear a podcaster mention Rhinebeck, they are really talking about New York sheep and wool, and it's in Rhinebeck, New York. The reason that we call it Rhinebeck is because it's way shorter than saying New York sheep and wool. Now, New York sheep and wool, I did a little research because I did not know this myself. I did know this part. So Rhinebeck is always the third weekend in October, and it is the creme de la creme of fiber festivals in the United States. I believe that Edinburgh is, somebody tell me who's been, is Edinburgh larger than Rhinebeck? Are they comparable? Their website, Rhinebeck's website, says that it is one of the largest festivals in the United States. I want to know what's larger, because I feel like Rhinebeck's the one. I mean, I don't know, I suppose, how you would measure that, but I feel like Rhinebeck is like, la, when it comes to fiber festivals, right? So the history of Rhinebeck is, I don't know that anyone really knows. So I looked on their Wikipedia page, which I know, that's not a credible source. So the Wikipedia page said that the first one was held in 1972, but their website, the festival's website, said that it was around 1980. Sorry, you guys, my phone's going to be making noise because I have to keep it on for work. They said that the first one was around 1980 and that it was a bread ewe sale. So to me, that sounds like it was just selling bread ewes, like just selling sheep. And then since then and over the years, it has morphed into what we know it is today. I will have to tell you, I'm a little nervous. I've been to a lot of fiber festivals. I've been to big ones. I've been to small ones. I feel like I'm going to be very overwhelmed by it. I am definitely looking at it more as a social event than I am a shopping event, but you know,
I'll be shopping.
Dan is going to be my handler because I kind of need one of those. When left up to my own devices, it can be scary sometimes. So we will be at Rhinebeck on Saturday, and the hours that Rhinebeck is open is between 9 and 5, right? Yes, 9 and 5. What has also happened during this Rhinebeck weekend is other things have popped up, which you've probably also heard people talk about. There are other events that make the weekend even more jam-packed. So Rhinebeck is Saturday and Sunday. We will get there sometime Thursday, check into the hotel. That's going to be the calm before. It's not a hotel. I forget where we're staying, but it's not a hotel. It's like irrelevant. That's what it is. It's irrelevant. I'm a rambler. Friday, we are doing events. We are going to Woolen Folk, which is, I want to make sure I get this right. I mean, so many friends are going to Woolen Folk, and I'm so excited for it. I get to hug all my friends. I get to touch them and stand beside them and see how tall they are, and I'm really excited about it. So that is Friday from noon to 7, and that's at the Hutton Brickyards. You have to buy tickets. I believe they're still available. It is 22 minutes across the river from the Dutchess County Fairgrounds. That is, let me read it to you because I don't want to mess it up. Their website says Woolen Folk is an all-day party with food trucks, makers, yarn, and fiber-friendly vendors, live music, and they're having a Meet the Podcasters. The podcasters, you'll have to look at the meetup. I know that the grocery girls are going to be there and Needles at the Ready are going to be there. I cannot wait to hug Kevin and Ray. You guys, I get to hug them. I'm so excited. I'm going to accost you. Like, be ready for me. So it goes on to say there's a lot more at Woolen Folk, but mostly Woolen Folk is a celebration of our diverse, inclusive, and extraordinary fiber community. Okay, so that's noon to 7. I mean, what is better than knitting and just chilling out with your friends and listening to music? After that, or during that, Floxsie. Have you guys ever heard of Floxsie? I had to do research on this. Floxsie is having a roller skating party at Wood and Wheel Family Fun Center, and it is 11 minutes away from Woolen Folk, and it starts at 5 and is over at 8, but then you also have to buy tickets, and then there is open skate after 8 if you want to stay longer. I'm guessing it's going to be a long day. I don't know how long we're going to stay because, you know, I turn into a pumpkin at a certain time, depending on how much activity I have done throughout the day, and I'm betting it's going to be action-packed. I want to tell you about Floxsie, though. When I first saw this event, I mean, obviously roller skating, I was going to go. When I first saw it, I thought Floxsie was maybe like a yarn shop. I'd never heard of Floxsie. Well, turns out it's just events. They do events. They do virtual events. They do in-person events, all sorts of events. So I've signed up for their newsletters. I am super excited to meet them. I hope they're there. I don't know why they wouldn't be there since it's their event. But they did say that Jessie Hooks Manning and Kitty De Silva from the Needle and the Hook podcast, which is a new to me podcast, are masters of ceremony. So if you watch their podcast, I know for sure that they're going to be there. And I hope that some of the Floxsie peeps are going to be there. I want to meet them. They are having at this event raffle and giveaways, a photo booth, prizes for the best dressed, best knitted / crocheted item, and the best moves and grooves. And more that I can't remember, you'll have to look. If I go for anything, it would be best dressed, but I can't decide what I want to wear. I'm pretty sure, just knowing him, that Johnny Boh is probably gonna get the best dressed unless somebody tops it. I am here for the best dressed. I am. I want to see who tops Johnny Boh. I mean, just to throw you under the bus, John, but I know you, and I know you will always bust out the big guns. I just know it. Another sheet down. So Eve is the owner of Floxsie, and she is the event planner. And they also have a DEI committee, which is headed by Dr. Sarita Tillman or Tilgman. I'm not positive on how to pronounce that, but it is clearly represented on their website. And for those of you who don't know what DEI is, that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. It says on their website that they are all about transparency. They just sound like a super, super cool company. And even if you're not a roller skater and aren't going to make it to the skating event, I would definitely sign up for their newsletter and check out. I mean, their events are like not boring. They're all over the board. They do all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited. I feel like I've been sleeping on this a little bit. Like, why didn't I know who they were? And I want to see what events they have in the future. Because like I said, they do a lot of virtual stuff. How I'm preparing for this gig. This is where my FOs come in. I made a skate leash. This is a free pattern. The roller skate leash, it's a crocheted pattern by Crafty Callie. A skate leash, for those of you who don't know, hold your skates when you're walking into the rink. This is just real cheap, like it was cotton that I had in stash. It's that, what's that called? Is it Peaches and Cream? I think that's what this is, Peaches and Cream cotton. I whipped this out in a night. Then, so here's my skates for those of you who have not seen them before. These are my Moxies. Aren't they cute? This is what they look like. Well, I need toe guards. So guess who made toe guards? This is what my toe guards look like, not on the skate. This is my hand spun. When I spun this, I called this clown barf. That's what I named this skein. It's a bunch of coils. The way I crocheted it is I put all the coils on the outside, so there's no coils on the inside, and you can kind of see how I did it. Now, I made up my own pattern. The reason I made up my own pattern is because I didn't like any of the patterns that were out there. The reason I didn't like any of the patterns that were out there is because, and nothing wrong with them, but I wanted mine to fit a certain way. The crochet, first I didn't like the knitted ones. I definitely like the crocheted ones better. And the crocheted ones, all the ones that I could find were just a spiral. So they were all round. So you were putting like a round hat on a square toe, you know? Like I wanted it to be like our socks. Well, the knitted toe guards were like that. So I just made my own, and I wrote up a pattern if any of y'all want it. So I did the knit sock toe, but with crochet. So I think that it fits my skate a lot better. So this guy right here goes over your toe stop, and then you put it on. So see how the toe's like wide? It just fits better. Then you lace it in so it doesn't fall off. Now, hopefully I won't use these and they're just decorative. But the reason that you want toe guards is if you're a faller, you won't mess up your skate by dragging your toe, usually outside. Like I said, these are basically just cosmetic. I've not chosen my outfit though. And I don't know that these are the toe guards that I will be rocking at the Floxsie party. So are you guys planning on going to the skate party? I hope so. This is going to be the longest episode ever. I almost forgot I didn't show you how the skate leash works. I was going to do that, but I wanted to show you the toe guards first. This is what you do. You have this loop, right? You pull it through and you make yourself another loop. Then you put it around your skate like so. Then you do it to the other one. Sorry, look. You guys, I had poison ivy. It's terrible. I don't even know where it came from. And I scratched it. I know I wasn't supposed to do that, but that's the end of it. That's all that's left. Okay. Then, you have your skate leash. So you don't have to like carry your skates in. You have free hands. I might add to this. I do wish it was a little thicker. Like hers was thin. I followed the pattern you chain 221, and then you single crochet 3 rows. So I might add to this because you know how your chain is usually tighter than the outside? I can feel that. So I want to add to it on the other side just to kind of like even that out. So if you make this, if you make your own, I would suggest that. Unless you like the strap to dig into your shoulder. I don't know, you might be a masochist. Different strokes for different folks, right? Now we'll talk about whips, which I have a lot of those too. This is in my Hohi bag that my friend Elizabeth gave me. I love it. It's, you know, it's my color. You know my colors. My balls are in my ball socks from Andi the Knittress. The socks that I am making are the Vanilla is the New Black, the DK version, and the vanilla part is that really cool heel. Now, for you OGs, you know that I have knit these before, but they were for Dan and they were fingering weight. I don't have any for myself, and I've been wanting to get on this DK sock train. So this is the Cat Lady Yarns, Andrea. For those of you who remember, I went to Yellow Springs. She came as well. We made friends. And the Cat Lady, which is CATT, is Craft All the Things. She also has a podcast, and this is Pink Parties Hard. She gifted that to me at Yellow Springs, and I love them. And I literally just, there's a couple pearls in there. I just started the heels on these. Not very eventful, but it's a whip. And they're so pretty. I love the color. It's so highlighter pink, it's blowing out. And I get to get rid of another page. I recycle all that, just so you know. My next whip. And I can't remember who made this bag. April 9 Designs. I got this a very long time ago. And the thing that I loved about it is there was a measure in there and a little loop for progress keepers. I don't know why I forgot that word. So what's in this bag? Another pair of socks. But I need your help with these. It's the Knit Like It's 1999 by, is this Tricot and Stitch? Is that how you say that? Let me know. This is a free pattern. This is what they look like. It just looked like a fun patterned sock. I haven't done a patterned sock in a long time. It's really fun to do this stocking stitch. I'm just really excited about it. Well, I felt like I needed like a little bit of a muted yarn. So I am using one of my sock blanks from Maria at Ninja Chickens. I'm so excited. But this is where I need your help because it's a sock blank. And for those of you who don't know, Maria is a natural dyer, and this is what her sock blank looks like that I have. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So when you knit off a sock blank, it looks like ramen noodles. So the pattern isn't showing up wonderful. See how crinkly it looks? Like you can't even see that. I love the color. Look at the color. And that is going to flash awesome. Here's my thing. I don't know, while the color's awesome, I don't know that it's working with this pattern. But I also don't know if it's just because of the ramen, the sock blank. So do you think, look at my progress keeper, isn't that cool? So do you think that I could keep it on the needles and block just this and see what it looks like if it changes at all? Ditto, what you doing? Are you up to no good? He's licking something. Hold on. So Dan left his smoothie cup on his stand beside the couch, and Ditto knocked it off so that it would then splatter all the like leftover, which I mean, it's just drips, you know, but it splattered across the floor and that's what he was licking up. So now I get to mop. I mean, he'll clean that up, but I also don't want dog spit all over my floor. So anyway, back to this. What do you think? Do you think I should just frog it and choose another yarn? Or do you think I should try and block it? I think I've only ever knit one other sock blank and those look fine. I mean, now those socks look fine, but they were just a plain stockinette and have been washed multiple times. So and those were super wash and this is not super wash. Let me know what you guys think. I'm undecided. I was really gonna frog it and then I thought, hey, I'll ask the peeps, see what they think. And now we have a ditto in here, which he has not seen the new pillow yet. I stuffed it because I kept forgetting to get a pillow form. Well, I have all this furniture batting. So it's actually understuffed. I need to put more in it. But I had all this furniture batting that it's like for reupholstering that is just sitting there. So what I did is I made it like a really nice pillow and put it in a pillowcase. And then I put it in there. So worked perfect. I just need to put more in. Okay, oh my gosh, my next whip is huge. It is the Stepaside by Jennifer Beal. It is a $10.02 pattern. I am using Highland yarn by Harrisville Designs, non-superwash. Let me get it. It's in my super cool So Bernie bag that was a gift. Thank you very much. It is perfect. It's a perfect sweater bag. I love it. Go check out her bags. I do believe that drawstring bags are my favorite. Okay, wait until you see this, you guys. I tackled it and I am enjoying it. It will be my Rhinebeck sweater. I will finish this. So this is the pattern. And I've also referred to this as the Orifingami pattern because how this designer had this in her brain, I'm the entire time I'm knitting it, I'm mesmerized. I don't know how a person's brain works like this. So I'm in the color work and I have my yarn condoms and I am finally down to not a lot of needles. This is going to take me a minute because I want to let anyone who wants to knit this pattern know some things about it because I really did research this quite a bit. I read all the comments. I think I've probably already said this to you guys, but I read all the comments. I went through, I made notes on how I wanted to do it based on like some mistakes other people made or what they wish they would have done, yada, yada, so on and so forth. And it will make way more sense now that I'm further along. Wait until you see it. What? I have a pocket. Okay. So much fun. This is so much fun. So I have the right side done. Now the pocket's not attached. That'll come later. But I have all the needles out. At one point, this looked like an octopus. I had circular needle cords everywhere. I don't know how you would do this without having all of the, I mean, I do. It would be a pain in the ass. It would be a huge pain in the ass because all these different sections were held on cords. It was a pain in the ass, even though it was easy for me. I can't imagine like putting all these sections on barber cord or something like that. The nice thing about having all of these cords, I have a Knit Picks interchangeable set and I've had it forever and it works for me just fine. So I'm using my Knit Picks and I have so many, I actually purchased new cords, more cords because of this pattern. So when I have anything on hold, I just put these nifty little stoppers on it and they're good. So then when I move from one section to another, watch this all come off here. Oh, only dropped one stitch. So when I move from one section to another, all I have to do is unscrew it, put on my stopper, and pick it back up somewhere else. It's great. Now, some things. So I don't even know how to show this to you guys. Let me put it over my head. That might be better. Because I wish I had this visual, you guys. So right side, you knit this whole side. That's what I'm doing over here. But as you can see, it is in the round. So you knit this and then the back in the round. And you steek, which I've barely started, but you steek these stitches. So you steek at the cuff and you steek like down here. So it's all crammed together on your needle until you steek. And then as soon as you steek it, you're like, la, because it all comes out. And then you do the pocket. Now, I didn't follow my notes, which this was dumb. A bunch of people said this is twisted rib, and a bunch of people said that they just did straight stockinette instead. And I forgot, but like I didn't go back and look at my notes. I should have marked that where it was in the pattern, but I'd actually marked it like on the front sheet. So whatever. I did everything else the way I wanted to though. I steeked for the first time, and I did the crochet method, which is really cool. It like curls in, so you have a nice little, I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna work all this, but my first time steeking, I wasn't scared. I don't get scared of my knitting very much, ever. It doesn't scare me. If I drop a stitch, maybe knitting lace, my even star, that shawl right there. That one kind of freaked me out a couple times. I had lifeline. Well, let me show you so you know why. This is like Irina doing her Shetland lace. This is as close. Irina is from Fiber Chats. Here again, I'm just spewing out names like you know who they are. Irina does Shetland lace, and it's just like, I showed this a long time ago. This is my even star. It has something like 3,000 beads in it. I wear this when I'm going someplace fancy. But this, when I dropped a stitch, I was like puckering, you know what I mean? So on this, I don't really get that feeling. And I'm cutting my yarn. I just trust the process. And I used, I'll link it, I used Very Pink Knits crocheted steeking version or tutorial video, whatever, it'll be linked. Okay, what else do I want to say about this? If you knit this, stitch markers per section, very important, as I'm dropping a bunch more stitches. One of the best tips I read. So you have your front right, back right, front left, back left. And like I said, all this stuff is crammed on the needles in this like weird origami way. And this as a visual, this is my front right. Back right. I wrote down what stitch markers were in what section. So helpful, so helpful. Best tip I read. So do that. It calls for a cable cast on in some sections. I think I already said this. I didn't do it and had to rip out a bunch. Trust the pattern. Just trust the pattern. Do what she says. There's a reason for it. Right versus left color work. So you knit all of this color work at the same time. Then you knit all of this. You can imagine the time that passes from doing the right side to the left side. Well, these you have to cast on. And I didn't write down the cast on that I used for this side. Write that down. So I had to try like 3 or 4 different times to figure out what cast on I used for this so that it was the same. Now, would it matter in the end project? I don't know, maybe. but I didn't want to put all that time and energy into it and take a chance for it to like look stupid. You know what I mean? Because it's right here and I don't know how that's going to look once I join it. She did not indicate which cast on to use. And that's pretty much it for this. I am loving it. I think it's going to be way too warm for Rhinebeck, but I'll try it. It's definitely going to Rhinebeck. That's for sure. I like this throwing paper thing. That's kind of fun. Okay. My next whip is in my kitchen counter crafter bag with beer on it. I don't think she makes them anymore, you guys. And Tania, I watch, what does she call her podcast? The Breakfast Crew, I think. She's in Texas, and I watched her podcast today, and she was using one of her bags too. You don't see them very often. This is old school YarnCon, old school. And like I use it so much, or have used it so much, that she's seen better days. But my rug's in here. Now, this is probably not going to look very different to you guys. This is what she looks like now. The last time you saw it, it was here. So I've gotten that much more done. And that, well, there. And this is so blown out. There'll be better lighting later. Here. I talked about this more extensively on the last podcast. So if you missed that and want to know, go check that out. I was here last time and then I worked on it for a little bit and placed a marker, and then I got all that done in one sitting. Now, for me to sew together this much, my shoulder hurt. My shoulder still hurts. I did it 2 days ago. And I think the reason my shoulder hurts is because of how I was sitting on the couch when I was doing it. So just beware if you make one of these. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. I don't know how I'm going to do something else next time because ouch. Ooh, my next whip, you guys. Look at my bag. Look at my bag. Isn't it cute? It's real leather. My friend Brenda made it for me. I'll talk more about her later. The inside fabric, I'm going to try to do this without taking everything out, is Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos. Is that better? I'm trying. It is so cool though. But she made it for me. And this is my new project bag for my 200 blocks of crochet. The OGs know if this is your first time, I am working my way through this book. I am on square 44. I was going to do all 200 squares, but I'm pretty sure that is going to be a ginormous blanket, but I don't know. Maybe it won't. I am going to make a blanket, hopefully, before I die. This book will be linked. It's by Jan Eaton. There's a couple of them. Perfect for scraps. It's always a different pattern. You know, they're all quick, some quicker than others, and I have half a square done. I need to snip the ends of those are all woven in. That's a nice thing about crochet. Well, I guess you can do it with Weave and Steven too, which is Stephen West's version of carrying your yarn across so you don't have to weave in ends. But crocheting, I've always done it. You just crochet over it. So those just need snipped. I was going to wait till the end. It's kind of blown out. So the pink's the middle, and then it'll go back with the same colors. This is the crochet hook I use for it. This is by Star Knits. She's at Fiber Festivals, also YarnCon. I don't think I got this at YarnCon though. Where did I get this from her? I think I got this at Allegan. So I see her around, but she always has these crochet hooks. So if you want like a fun, so this is an E. Do you want to see my stack of squares? I haven't shown that off in a while. My 43 squares. They're right there. That's where they live. But it's still fun to see the big old pile. Doesn't it just make you happy? I don't even care that they're not in a blanket. 43 squares. And then you can just like, oh, there's a cool one. You know, you just never know what you're going to find. I just mix them all up. They're all made of scraps. I love this one. Hopefully one day you will see this, probably many years from now, but you will see this as a blanket. I hope, I hope, I hope. Can you believe I'm still going with the whips? Spinning. I've been spinning. And I have to tell you the reason that I've been spinning. So Irina from Fiber Chats, for those of you who don't know her, she interviews people within our fiber community and they're all awesome. And I love her interviews. She asks the best questions. She interviewed Kelly from On a Quest for Fiber. She's up in Canada, and watching that, I was totally enabled. Totally enabled. So I busted out my spindle. Kelly does supported spindle. I'll talk about that more in a minute. I busted out my Turkish spindle, so I'm spinning. I love this little spindle. This is Shepherd's Woodworking. I got this in 2018. I love that they do that. And they're at most of the shows that I go to. I wonder if they go to Rhinebeck. I feel like they do. They were at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So I see them all over the place. I love this little thing. I made Rolags, and it just happened to be perfect. I was looking for something in the craft room. One of my questions from the 10,000 subscriber giveaway that I haven't answered yet because I'm a terrible podcaster, they're still there. I will answer them. But one of the questions was, how long does it take me to clean/dust the craft room? Or the stuff room. Well, I do it in sections. And I have one of those horsehair extensions on my vacuum, and that's how I dust it. I don't go around with a duster thing. I just I'll dust the tops of everything when I have the vacuum out. I vacuum all around. And then I clean things as I use them as well. So I was looking for scraps for something and decided that I needed to get my scraps under control. So I don't know if you can see it because it's too dark, but that thing right there is a little owl. It has scraps in it. That little bin right there hanging on the wall, it has scraps in it. This little drawer over here in this little TV stand, it has scraps in it. So I went through them all and kind of, these are my bigger balls. The big balls go in this drawer. And when I was cleaning out that guy back there, I found this fiber. Well, it is vegan cashmere. Some people call it faux cashmere. It's a synthetic. I have no idea what it's made out of, but you can spin it. There's no barb. It's super slippery. For those of you who aren't spinners, you know how wool's scratchy? Well, what makes it scratchy are little barbs on the fiber, which I've said before, but in case you haven't heard my little spiel, you see it on hair, shampoo commercials. Pantene's always good at it. They put the hair under the microscope and they, it shows all these scales coming off your hair. And then after you wash it with Pantene, it's real smooth. That's what makes it soft. According to them, I don't know how true that is. But that's when you're spinning, those fibers slide against each other and those barbs are what catch. Well, on this faux fiber, there aren't any barbs. So you have to do high twist in order to get it to spin. So spinning this on a drop spindle has been very interesting. But I had that faux, plus there was a little bit of wool in there, and I don't remember what it was from, but I busted out my blending board and made some rollags. For those of you who don't know what a blending board is, this is a blending board. It has all these little teeth on it, and you kind of like paint with your fiber on it, and then you use these two dowel rods and like make these rollags. I'll see if I can link a video that shows it better, or just look up blending board videos on YouTube if you want to know more about these. But that's how you make rollags. And these are my rollags. Aren't they cool? They are so soft, but like I said, hard to spin, right? This mustard color right here, that's the wool. That's the wool. And then this stuff is the faux cashmere. And that's what I'm using for my spinning. So this fluff makes me so happy. I love it. Okay, totally got the bug after watching Kelly. This interview in particular caused me major enabling. So I have this, right? And I had that fiber. She does supported spindles. I have never done supported spindle. Of course, I need to learn to do all the things. I want to know how to do all the things. And of course, I had to buy one of her spindles. She also does classes. It's like a 2-hour class, very affordable. She'll be linked below if you want to learn how to drop support spindle, if you want to learn how to do that. My plan is to get this drop spindle and then take Kelly's class. Now, I do know how to spin, but she teaches you, if you watch the interview, you'll see, she teaches you like people who have never spun before ever. So she does do extreme beginner, and she's extremely patient. You can just tell she's good people. You just can. So when I get that spindle, the plan is to take her class, and I'm more excited to get, I mean, obviously supported's a little different, so I'll have to learn that aspect of it, but I'm not starting blind, right? I know how to draft, I know how to do the half hitch, yada yada. But I'm excited to learn her tips and tricks, because that's the knowledge that I don't know. Like, this took me, it was so long in between spinning on this that it took me some fumbling around to get going. So I'm excited to learn what she has to tell me, and I'll be talking more about her and enabling again, because now we're on enabling. Finally, right? Finally. I've purchased some things. I go so long without purchasing things, and then I purchase things, and it's like, I need to stop purchasing things. I'm going to Rhinebeck, you know, I'm going to Rhinebeck. Why am I purchasing things? But these are different. I purchased not one, but 2 advent calendars. I couldn't pass them up. Lamb string yarn has been, is it lamb string or lamb strings? Lamb strings yarn has been on my I need it list for a long time. Shanna and her friend, who her name's escaping me, used to do a podcast, and I loved it, and they haven't podcasted in forever. That's actually how I found her, and then found out that she was the dyer through her podcast behind Lamb Strings Yarn. I love her colorways. And she's doing an October spooky one, and it's called Tra-la-la.
What have we here?
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing, tra-la-la?
Your Majesty, what a nice surprise.
I mean, I had to get it. Tra-la-la, that's Labyrinth, yo. I mean, I don't know if that's where like her brain is, but tra-la-la, come on. So that's coming in October. Super psyched about it. And then my second advent is from Kelly. Now, first off, Lamb Strings is closed. It closed in June, so you can't get that one. But the second advent calendar is from Kelly. which is On a Quest for Fiber, who I was just talking about, who I'm getting the supported spindle from. She is doing, she calls it her 2022 Fiber Bits Club. And that is 12 days in December. She still has some left as of today. Not quite sure how many she's going to have or when the cutoff is. 12 days of December, the first 12. And each baggie also comes with a little goodie. You have your choice of Polworth, which is what I chose, BFL, or Cheviot. Each day is 20 grams. And then on Christmas morning, you have 112 gram braid to open just for you. And it said of your favorite color. So she must ask you or something on that. Maybe closer to it, I'm not sure. That's a total of 12.4 ounces overall. The 12 days, the day 1 through 12, are all made to be spun together. So I'm going to use my new supported Turkish spindle that you can pick your color. There's a color list. Her husband 3D prints them, and she had a major, she designed it. Like she said, yeah, that's cool if you make one, but it has to have certain things. More about that in the future. I need another beer and a break. I'll be right back. I feel lightheaded because I'm talking so much. Are you guys so over me? I love that sound. Oh, and it's so cold. You guys, I'm old. Do you want to know what I just did? Stretched. Like I've been sitting here. You know you're old when. Like I seriously just did a couple yoga poses just to like, you know. I was going to go roller skating after this, and now I wonder if I should just do some yoga. So next for enabling, I'm going to cram it together with the Clinty Chevy trip. As you guys know, Clint is my best friend. For those of you who don't know, we have an annual Clinty Chevy trip every year. And this year I went to Chicago, which is where he lives. Usually we go someplace else. And we did the Van Gogh immersive experience. It was awesome. It was awesome. We got in a laughing fit and got kicked out. Yes, Michael, we got kicked out. So when you watch it, it runs through a couple times, and we stayed until like they just weren't running it through anymore, and we thought they were going to start it back over. Like we just thought it was on a loop and like people came. Yeah, no, like they like, yeah. We met Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting. He also has a podcast. He's my friend. I get to see him at Rhinebeck, but I got to see him early and hug him. We had a blast. We ate great food. We laughed a ton. So then the last day on Thursday, we met my friend Brenda. I've talked about her before. She's the one who made this beautiful gorgeousness. We met her. Ditto. You're cramping my style, man. We met Brenda for brunch. We had a wonderful brunch. I got to hug her. It was the first time that I got to hug her. I was just so excited. So Clint ended up going to do some adulting. So Brenda and I went shop hopping, yarn shop hopping, and of course I bought stuff. First, I forgot to finish showing you. Yes, Brenda made me this beautiful bag that I keep showing you, but oh my God, you guys, it feels so good. I love it. She also made me this bag, also real leather, and she has a key, an interchangeable key, and some stitch markers on there, a nice sturdy zipper. I love them fat zippers. And look at the inside. She's like a seamstress. Like she sews, she's amazing. She made me this cute little heart, and it's gonna live, you know, somewhere in the stuff room. Our first stop was Firefly Fibers, and that gal was so nice. Firefly, come on, man. There we go. Firefly Fibers Art Studio. I walked in. You guys know that I'm friends with Stephanie from Deep Dyed Yarn. She used to be Luna Bud Knits. I've talked about her quite a bit. Her yarn is amazing. And I see her at all the festivals here. I walk into this knit shop or yarn shop in Chicago, and there's her stuff. July 30th until August 7th, which today is the 29th. You guys won't see this until next week, so there's probably only a couple days left of the crawl. But July 30th to the August 7th is the Chicago Yarn Crawl. So they have like goodie bags or whatever. They're all showing them. All those shops are showing them on their social media. They all have a pattern. They all have, like fun dyers. Well, the pattern that they have is the designer made with Stephanie's yarn. So Brenda, I didn't know this, that they had like yarn crawl patterns. I don't know why I didn't know that. I guess I've only ever been on one yarn crawl, and they had yarn crawl yarn, like specifically dyed. Stand by. That was Dan, sorry. He's volunteering for setup for a try tomorrow. It's Friday night and we're having frozen pizza. Oh yeah. Okay, where was I? Firefly Fiber Art Studio. Yarn crawl, they all have a pattern. I didn't know this about yarn crawls because I've only ever been on one, and they had yarn. That's where I was. So Brenda was asking like if they had a pattern, what's your pattern? What's your pattern? Some of them like showed us, some of them didn't have it out yet. Well, Firefly did. She had the sample done up and everything. And she said, it wouldn't be released until, well, now it's tomorrow, July 30th, but it'll be linked and available for you. This is a picture of it. And it is Treasure Town Shawl by Jackie Valdez. And it's a free pattern, and I bought yarn for it. The designer used Stephanie's yarn, deep dyed yarn, which I have Stephanie's yarn in stash. So I wanted to get something that I'd never tried before. So I got Brittany Ray Knits. She is a new to me dyer. This is a single ply. Look at it. I love it so much. I'm super excited to see the finished product. So I will download that pattern. I don't know when it'll go on the needles just because I have so many other things on the needles, but that's what this is going to be. Like, I want to put this on the needles, but I have a shawl. I have had yarn for a shawl, a Suzanne Sommer pattern for years that I want to knit. And I think about it all the time. I also have another shawl that I have yarn for. It's called Across the Pond, the Across the Pond shawl, that I've also wanted to knit for years. I want to get those on the needles before this, but I want to knit this too. Decisions are the worst. Okay, our next stop was Knit One. Super nice shop. There were some gals in there knitting. That was one of those shops where there was a big table in the middle of the shop, and they must do classes and things there. They had, you guys, they had a huge rack of samples. So Brenda and I just had our own little fashion show. Like, we just tried on all the sweaters. It was awesome. I added some to my queue. We had a blast there. My purchase there was their yarn, Knit One Chicago's yarn. That's what their label looks like. And this, isn't that fun? I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's DK weight, 100% superwash wool. It's just going to go in the stash. Then we went to Nina. Nina had the coolest wall. This wall, you guys, that's yarn wrapped around pegs. How cool is that? The only purchase at Nina that I made was Mama Jean. Look away, fast forward. Okay, bye. I purchased these for Mama Jean. They are curved needles. They're from France, and I guess they're bougie. But they are for like hand basting. Ideal for trying quilts and basting. I don't know if she's ever tried these or not, but I thought, she loves her notions. So that's for Christmas. Then for me, I got this little guy. He'll live in the stuff room too. The stuff room has a new friend. Look, she has udders. I guess it's not a boy, yeah? It's so cute. And then I picked this up for you, anyone who lives in Chicago. Michael, you need to know about this. It is called Needles and Knives. It's a meetup for crafty crime junkies every Monday at 7. Look how cool that is. It says, you like true crime and crafting too? Did we just become best friends? Join a group of like-minded folk every Monday at 7. We chat about anything and everything while we knit, cross-stitch, crochet, whatever. Kite String has something for everyone with both boozy and non-boozy beverages. You can also stuff your face and order some bomb-ass taquitos. We don't judge, all skill levels welcome. Come as you are. And it's Kite String Cantina, and it says follow us on Instagram at Needles and Knives and at kite_string_cantina_cantina, and it's at 1851 West Addison. If I lived in Chicago, this would be my jam. I'm that person that falls asleep to like Forensic Files because I like the guy's voice. Give me all the murder, death, kill stuff. I'm all about it. If you're in Chicago and you go to this, let me know. I want to know how it is. That was Clinny and I's trip in a nutshell. There you go. Everything will be linked below. My last enabling, and I don't even know how enabling this is. Oh no, I have 2 enablings. I forgot. I need to add that to my list. Things came in the mail today, you guys. I am on a mission to wrangle my circular knitting cords, circular needle cords. As you know, as some of you remember, I have this Knit Picks whatchamadingy. I like it. I have my Knit Picks needles on that side and my Haya Sharps on the other. I was drawing a blank. My Haya Sharps cords are in this pocket, and I just keep them all in the bag that they came in, which eventually these are going to die, right? But they're fine for now. My Knit Picks cords, on the other hand, are a mess. They're just shoved in this pocket. I just dumped all my needles out. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm going to try to not do that again. All of my circular needle cords for my Knit Picks are just in here all willy-nilly. And it's annoying. I don't know what size they are. Now, I know there are a lot of cord management things. I know there are holders with like pockets you can put them in and sleeves you can put them in, and fine. I know you can hang them on a wall. I used to hang them on a wall and like on this thing. I want to keep them in here. I just want them to be wrangled and marked somehow with the size cord it is. So I went on a mission. I knew what I wanted in my head, but I didn't know what was going to work. So I bought multiple things, and let me be your guinea pig. I got these tiny micro binder clips. I got these little clips, and they have like a rubber so they won't mess up your cords. Then I didn't know these existed, you guys. So they look like this. But there's all different stuff you can do with these. So you like twisty tie like that. They're reusable. So I've tried them on all of them for fit, but I haven't done it for function. I am leaning toward these. I like them. Here's what one looks like. Now, when you put them in the pocket, and I tried them on the long needles and the shorter needles. Now, they will stick together in there, but the reason that I like these is because you can write the number right there of the inches with a Sharpie. I don't know how the other ones will work. So here's a long one and a short one of the binder clips, which these will work fine. I was worried that they would hurt the cord somehow, but they won't. They're fine. This is definitely the cheapest option. I don't remember how much they were. I'll link all of it below so you guys can choose if you like this idea. This would work, not my favorite. These guys also work, which I think they would be fine, except how would I note the cord size? So I think I'm going with these guys. Plus, you can do a bunch of other stuff. That's my other enabling. I'm going to return the other stuff. Okay, last enabling. We're almost done, I promise. Last enabling, I got some Buttercup cotton from Pearl Soho. And this is on Kevin from Needles at the Ready's recommendation. This is his favorite cotton. He loves it. Very affordable. It was on sale for like $6.60 a skein. The reason that I got this is my niece is pregnant, and for her baby shower, I am going to make her some little washcloths, little baby washcloths with it. Her color is purple. I think this will go cute. I mean, other stuff along with it, but I'm going to try out Kevin's favorite cotton. Okay, happy mail and then miscellaneous. The first thing isn't really happy mail, but it's like He found it. Did you find it? Dan's coming home. He hears the car. Don't ruin Jareth. You can give him kisses. Okay, not that many kisses. We went down to Louisville. We had Dan's family Christmas down there in June. Was it June? I think it was June. So all the girls got this. I have been waiting to do this because I wanted to show you guys. We all got a different flavor. I got the flavor that I wanted, but it is vanilla bean espresso spirit infusion kit. Just add 1.5 cups of alcohol to steep your own flavored potion in days. It comes with, I didn't want to take it apart because I wanted you guys to see it. The Mixed Craft potion, it's like a little tea bag in there. And then this is what it says. Try your hand at this cocktail, Dark Vision. So there's a cocktail recipe on it. It says mix 1.5 ounces of this with a 1/2 ounce of Kahlua and 1.5 ounce cold brew and 1/2 ounce, half and half. You know, I'm going to be trying that. I'll try it on the next podcast. How's that? I mean, big words. Maybe I want to. That'll be my goal. So it says, infuse your vanilla bean espresso. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't talk. First off, one of my huge pet peeves is when people call it espresso. It just bothers me because it's espresso. So the entire Clinny Chevy trip, he was calling it espresso because he knew it got on my nerves. Vanilla bean espresso. You make your potion and it says you fill your jar to the neck, leaving the potion mostly submerged, which the little potion bag there. Steep on the counter for 2 days or to taste. Chill or freeze. Sip to enjoy or swirl up a custom cocktail. Reinfuse to craft a second batch ASAP if desired. So this says you discard the pouch and enjoy the infusion for 1 month. Use it within 1 month, and the kit lasts up to 12 months pre-infusion. I just thought it was so cute, and they have different flavors. What an awesome gift. I had to share it. So I'm calling that Happy Mail, but it didn't really come in the mail. My next Happy Mail, you guys remember my little voodoo doll pin cushion and how they had Pac-Man Jessica Biscuit sent me the little Pac-Man. Isn't it cute? Inspired leather. She just wanted to make my day happy. And she did. She will also be at Rhinebeck. We're staying at the same place. So there's going to be shenanigans happening after hours with that beesh. I love her. She's another one that I wish lived like a stone's throw from me. So thanks, Jessica. She has a podcast. Will be linked below. Tea and Biscuit is her podcast. And she records about this at like, we're kind of on the same schedule. It's about a month between episodes. And I was totally going to blow her shit because I miss her and I want her to record more. So I went to look to see how often she records. And then I saw that we were about the same. And I was like, oh, I totally can't blow her shit. I'm just as bad. My last happy mail is Robin from the Knittin' Coop. So the Knittin' Coop is a yarn shop in Salem, Virginia. And Robin used to also run triathlons. So she always follows Dan on his tries. So she sent me this card. It says 3 sheeps to the wind. I mean, isn't that adorable? And she said, I saw this. She sent me one of her stickers. It's on little yarn balls. That'll go on one of my bottles. And then she said, saw this and thought of you. Thanks for making me laugh. I mean, if that doesn't have me written all over it, I don't know what does. Thanks, Robin. That's awesome. We're wrapping up, dude. I'm on miscellaneous, and the only thing I have in miscellaneous is, for those of you who give 2 hoots, Dan has been rocking his tries. He's done 2 tries since the last time I talked to you. He did one in Napoleon, Ohio, which is like the county seat of where I'm from. It's a small triathlon, so there were only about 70 people who did it, but he got 7th overall and 1st in his age group. And he got a Yeti. That was what he won, was a Yeti for 1st in his age group. So that was cool. And then his big race, or one of his big races, is he did Ironman Ohio, which is in Sandusky. That was actually last weekend. And he did, I wrote it down. Oh, hey, I get to get rid of another piece of paper. It was crazy hot for one, like muggy, like heavy air, muggy hot. And he was 33 out of 107 in his age group. And he was 401 out of 1,397 total athletes. So that was awesome. I swear these people who do these triathlons, you guys are superhumans. And they will be the ones who win in the zombie apocalypse. I'm just thinking so. His next triathlon is toward the end of August, and it is the Chicago Triathlon. That is an Olympic distance, I believe Olympic. They call it international distance, maybe. I'll ask, he'll correct. I'll put it if I say that wrong. They call it an international, but I think it's an Olympic distance. It's going to be in Chicago. I will have Clinny there to help me. Being a Sherpa is extremely stressful to me. I mean, it might not be to other people, but to me it is, because I'm trying to get the pictures. I'm running back and forth. I'm trying to because they do loops, and I'm trying to get to wherever he is. There's a live app tracker. It never works. I may have had a breakdown and bawled at the end because I was so stressed out. But he did great. He enjoyed the race. He loved it. He had a good time.
How you feeling, babe? How you feeling?
Good. Last mile was awesome. Pistol.
Bye.
Yes, those people exist. Chicago, I am going to have Clint to help me. So if you want to come watch Dan run a triathlon in Chicago, he'll be there. And we'll be there somewhere. I'm kind of excited to see, how that one's going to work. So That's it. I'm done. I'm going to go put on my comfy clothes. So that's my plan. Going to watch a movie, chill on this Friday night, eat my frozen pizza. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that heavy horse shit, which I've forgotten to say the last handful of podcasts. I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.